Oh my goodness gracious, what is up, peeps? Welcome back to the channel. The off season has officially begun. If you guys want to do me a favor, my DMs will always be open, especially over on Twitter. If you see anything, send it my way. Let's talk about it on the channel. All right, first and foremost, with this off season starting, I can't wait to break down all of these potentials out there. You guys had some crazy comments on yesterday's video about the changes that you guys wanted to happen. A lot of people saying they want some liquid changes, maybe involving Yakinder, which I was like, shut your mouths, okay? I mean, it might happen, but let's let Yeki do what Yeki wants for a little bit here. Another team that will be foregoing changes, and that's going to be a big one on the list, probably the biggest one that people have eyes on, is G2 and NiKo set to leave. It's actually m0nesy talking about this thanks to CS2 News, a translation where apparently he says, I miss him already. I've already cried about this, and of course I misquoted that a little bit, but you get the gist of m0nesy saying, I've already cried about NiKo leaving, which just tears a hole in my heart.
Да, это NiKo, твой тиммейт. Как тебе игралось с NiKo в целом?
Очень классный чувак.
Да?
Буду скучать по нему.
Ведь ты подтверждаешь, получается, что он уходит. Блин, мы сейчас будем плакать всем вместе.
Я поплакал вчера.
Because here we all we're all standing on the edge. If you guys saw everyone seeing NiKo's we tweet say, and everyone's like, oh, what does he mean by we? He's not staying, okay? And I'm putting that in your minds as well as my own, because that way when he does say I stay, the whole world in the CS community is going to break down entirely if that ever happens. But to hear m0nesy speak on this, something we've already had everyone else speak on, all of the members of G2, of course, when they made their more previous run and actually took home some trophies, right? You remember the broken freaking table? That kind of conclusive speech they all had in their closing interviews, you kind of knew it was going to happen. Of course, there's other facts out there that it is going to happen. Like, you don't need the players to say it. But then with these closing words from m0nesy saying he's already cried about it, do you not just love these two? Like, it's hard to picture NiKo going to Falcons and not dragging m0nesy along with him, you know? And I promise I didn't do this on purpose. I don't want anyone crying out there, but I realize the heart-wrenching stories are the first two. This one having to do with Karrigan. He actually took to Instagram to talk about the major and their run, but also his late brother who had passed most recently. So I'm going to read this for all of you guys. It is very, very heartwarming, but also heart-wrenching to hear Karrigan finally speak on everything, because as you guys can only try and imagine, his last month has been utterly difficult. I can only imagine what he's had to go through. As he said, almost an epic comeback. For some teams, reaching Katowice and 2x major finals in a year is good. For us, is a bad year. I know we can do more, but 2024 wasn't our year. It could have been, but who cares? In the end, trophies matter, and we got none of the big ones. I would be lying if I didn't tell you that this major cycle was the biggest mental battle of my life. I shut everything out from my personal life the past month and went into being there as a leader for the team. We brought the magic, the energy, and the passion back to this major. For me, it is time to grieve and spend valuable time with my family and wife this Christmas. It will be hard and painful, but this too shall pass. I will be back hungrier as ever next year. It's like, how do you not love this dude? Just so well said, so well spoken, and it's crazy, right? Because FaZe had, by all accounts out there, themselves included, a disappointing year, and then you read the words out loud, and you're like, you made back-to-back major finals. Like, yes, you didn't take home a big trophy, but you still had some great runs out there. It's just we're so used to seeing Karrigan and the FaZe guys at the tippity top, and if they can't take home several trophies in a year, that's a failure. But for most players out there, shout out all my NA compatriots out there, that's a dandy year, right? We just need one freaking trophy. We got to have Stewie do it once a year, and we're happy for the entire year. That's not a joke. So the expectations for himself, but I love the ending. Not just the part about, spending time with family. Obviously, it's a holiday, missing a family member. It's got to be utterly terrible, right? But saying he's gonna come back next year hungrier than ever, that's awesome. Like, this dude's going to come back and win a major. I think everyone truly does believe that. Now, skipping a beat to a different team out there, and this is probably the spiciest thing we've had so far in this early offseason, Vitality. Are they in trouble, or is this some sort of translation here from apEx, as he too also posted on Instagram about Vitality? And it piqued a lot of people's interest about what their future might be, because you can also look at Vitality's several failed grand final runs this year and of course not making the last major run here at Shanghai, they too are also disappointed as a top team in the world. As he said, really tough ending of the season. When you are not a real team, it's really tough to win the major, and that's what I feel for a couple of months. That's the part where I'm like, I'm giving benefit of the doubt because I don't know. What if that's just a French to English translation? But I mean, when you word it like that, when you are not a real team, it's really tough to win the major. That's what I felt for a couple months. That doesn't sound good to me. How do you guys digest that? We end this season with only one trophy and a lot of downs. I need to reflect this past year and see what's next for us and for me. Thanks for your support. Count on us for next year. We will not disappoint you 2 years in a row. And so it's like this back and forth of like, we're not a real team. We only got one trophy. I need to really figure out my own future and the team's future. But then it's also like, we're not going to disappoint you 2 years in a row. And I'm like, apEx, you're playing with my mind and with my heart. I don't know what to take from this. And I got to be honest, it doesn't sound all too good when you have a Vitality squad who was one of the best teams in the world. Like that's just flat out true. But the amount of grand finals appearances they could not finish. I mean, you look back even to Dallas, right? I know it's not a prestigious event, but it was one of my favorites throughout this year, and you can't get it done. That does, I imagine, impact the mood over in the locker room. And there also have been the KRL rumors of apEx, maybe being sold or, given away to another team, but those were denied. So is that going to come back at some point? But it seems Vitality might also undergo changes. And a lot of people out there saying, Zai Wu, who can we put around this guy to really push him to the next level? I don't know. Also, a quick shout out to m0nesy. I think m0nesy had an insane year, by the way, and that dude is goated. And I think he had a kid. We covered that in the news too. So I would love to see m0nesy stick around because I think he is still, by a lot of eyes out there, somehow underrated. So this Vitality team, I don't know. You're a top 5 team throughout the entire year, but you can't get a certain number of trophies. What do they do? So yeah, I mean, what a fire news day in a weird way, right? Okay, it's a lot of good talking points, I should say. When you have m0nesy saying he's already cried for NiKo, who knows the future of G2, who knows the future of Falcons? We have apEx saying Vitality wasn't a real team this year. What the heck's going to happen to that top 3 team in the world? And then you have Karrigan saying, hey, I'm going to be hungrier than ever next year. What's going to happen to the FaZe roster, right? Because before the major, they were like, oh, maybe roster changes. That's what everyone thought. But you make a major run like that, 2 majors in a row, maybe you stick it out. Maybe you don't. Maybe the guys get tired of where they are. Maybe they're saying, hey, we got more gas in the tank. And one last thing I need you all to understand right now. What does this mean? All right? There's been way too many pictures out there with Donk where he doesn't do the, like I do this in every picture and it's kind of actually getting annoying, but he doesn't do the typical numbers. This motherfucker, is this like his eventual major count? I saw a Reddit comment saying he's saying he's 4 years old, which that's a low freaking blow. But really cool to see Shiro and Donk at the airport. I don't know if they looked too thrilled about it, but hey, I would get the picture anyway. It doesn't matter. Until next time, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you all for being here. It's been a real fun joy these last few weeks covering CS news, and we're not stopping now. Hunter actually got me a travel kit so I can make videos even when we're traveling and when I'm at home, which is awesome. It's going to look cheesy as all get out. I'm going to edit on my laptop, but it's going to be fun. So again, my DMs are always open. Keep sending me stuff. Thanks for all the nice comments and messages. You guys are awesome, and let's keep it pumping. Till next time, take care. Drink your water and coffee. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning.